Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Spencer Strasco with Delivering Sports. I was obviously at work this morning, so I couldn't release a video too quickly after the game. I'm literally still in my Domino's uniform, obviously. And I was able to watch the majority of the game at work. I didn't catch the last 8 minutes of the game, and they clearly closed out the game 90-82 in the end. So, pretty exciting stuff. I don't have too much to talk about. Yeah, the attendance wasn't great today, just mainly because it was a weird 12 o'clock game. Vegas is very much a nighttime type of thing, but I think a lot of kids were able to go today, so that was important to kind of get the kids out there and everything like that, see a professional sports team, and probably introduce a lot of them to basketball because Summer League's coming up, and I'm sure all the kids will want to go to that. So hopefully that was the idea behind it, and I looked like everyone still had fun. Obviously, the stadium's very loud. So, all right, I'll go into my game notes. You almost thought there was something there in the beginning of the game. They had scored 31 in the first quarter, which is obviously really good. And the big key was Kelsey Plum and Caleb McBride were really involved in the offense. There was a couple where Liz Cambage was assisting to Plum. She wasn't just a last 5 seconds on the shot clock, put it up because you can shoot type of thing. The announcers had brought up the point where she had shot like 3 for 32, I think, on the last 3 or 4 games. But, if you really watch those games, you would really understand why. She hasn't been getting the ball in positive scoring positions. And they went away from that in the second half, and I'll talk about that more. But in the first half, I thought, wow, this is what this team could be offensively if they would just play like a little more of like a modern basketball style. And defensively as well, there was almost something there in the first half, and this team doesn't guard the three-point line, as we all know, but at the very least, there were a couple of steals. When this team's aggressive on the three-point line, which I've talked about before, this team's always good. They get good steals. Caleb McBride and Tamara Young both got 2 great steals for wide open fast breaks because they were guarding the three-point line so heavily. And, that's one of the biggest stories of the game, even though they won, is that this team still can't guard the three-point line. The Aces only shot 7 3-pointers, which is unacceptable for a modern game. It's the only reason Chicago and all these other teams are still in it. And they shot 23, obviously, which is probably about league average, I would guess, for the WNBA for 3-point shots per game, and they were just missing. Next game that wouldn't happen necessarily, and still shooting 40% is not the mark that you want to hit. That's above league average in the NBA, and I would very much assume it would be above league average for the WNBA as well. And if a team could shoot 40% for an entire season at the three-point line, I'm pretty sure that would be like a record-breaking thing. So they didn't do well at guarding the three-point line because that's just how the teams run. They double team off of screens, which makes no sense. There's not a single player on Chicago that should be double teamed because a lot of them are three-point shooting threats. So when they pass it out or pass it out of the screen, they're able to swing the ball quite quickly and just get a wide open 3-point shot, and that's exactly what happened today. They were getting close to shooting 50%, and 3 points is more than 2 points. Obviously, that's all there is to it. Yeah, even though the team won in the second half, you can see the whole scoring breakdown from 31 points to 24 points to only 17 and 18 in the third and fourth quarter. Just got away from the things that were really good in the first half. Caleb McBride, I believe, was 7 or 8 from the first half, and I don't believe she hit a second shot, a basket in the second one, and probably the same for Plum as well from what I had truly noticed, where at the very least that it was maybe 1 or 2 shots, and I just don't really get the point. It's not going to work against better teams, as we saw against Washington. It worked against Chicago because they're just a middle-of-the-road team. Not bad, not as bad as they were last year, but at the same time, this isn't a team that you're worried about in the playoffs. But Aces got the win. It's good. I believe they start going on the road soon. So they play Chicago again. And this is going to happen every game against bad teams or middle-of-the-road teams that play modern-style offenses where they shoot 23 threes a game. Because no matter how efficient the Aces are in the paint, 3-point shots, especially if they're not going to guard them appropriately, are just going to kill this team and keep every team in the game. We've seen it for the past probably 5 games about what it means to not guard the 3-point line or not guard it well enough. So I wanted to keep this episode short because I wasn't able to watch the full game. If anyone has any notes for the very end of the game, I would love to hear them, and I'm sure everyone else would because I wasn't able to watch it because I was making pizza for people. So if you guys have any notes, anything that I missed today, it would really be appreciated, and we can talk about it in the comments down below, and thank you for listening.